This week, we're going to be creating our very own neon pumpkins. So I have a little music and art video combined where we've got the 5 little pumpkins. We're going to be using a regular piece of paper with my neon oil pastels, as well as a black crayon to help us draw the shape of our pumpkin. Now, no, if you don't have neon pastels and you're doing this from home, you could just use any color crayons that you've got on your regular white paper. And then what we're going to do is grab a plastic baggie, use an orange marker, and do that water technique where we just wake up the marker with our paintbrush on the plastic bag and paint over our paper. We'll then cut that out and put it onto our black piece of paper that we'll decorate with our own splatter design of using our neon oil pastels. So let's get started on this fun, quick activity. Why don't you take a moment now to grab the different materials that you need for this project. I know another material I added at the end is some Puffy Paint, but take a moment, pause the video, and go grab what you need. Okay, so on your paper, think about the direction that you would like it to be. Do you want it to be a pumpkin going this way? Do you want a nice tall pumpkin where you have the vertical line? It's either way of whatever way you want to create your pumpkin. So the first thing you're going to do is draw a big oval. So how I do that is I'm going to use my black crayon. I'm going to draw a nice big oval, just like that. And then I'm going to add off of my oval. So I'm going to draw a rainbow. And I'm going to bring it all the way down, and then I'm going to connect it in. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. So I'm going to draw it this way and around. And now I want you to keep doing that. So I'm going to go a little lower on this one and come back in. Same thing here. And maybe I will do one more. I got a humongous pumpkin. Isn't that cool? So now that we've got this, we're going to draw a stem. So I want you to do is draw your stem any way you want. It could be a stem like this. You know, you can add in the lines on it. Make it like that. It's up to you. You can even have where it's like a circle. You add your oval stem to it, and now it looks more 3D. The next thing you're going to do is I'm going to be giving you some neon oil pastels. So we're going to grab our different colors, choose whichever ones you'd like, and I want you to trace to the side of your black crayon. So you could do a color on one side, and then you can also do another color on the other side. It's whatever stands out for you. So I'm just going to grab different colors, and I'm going to make this neon pumpkin really bright. Any crayons that you have at home would even work the same way as my oil pastels. It's just playing with different pops of color and making things just stand out a little differently. So take a few more minutes and just go in and just outline around your black crayon design. Once you got all of that done, the next thing we're going to use is a baggie, an orange marker, and then you're going to have your paintbrush with a little bit of water in a cup. And this is what we're going to do. you're going to use your marker and put it on your baggie. And then you're going to grab some water and you're going to paint top. Grab a little more water and just paint over it. Okay. You'll notice I don't need to add any more marker to my baggie. I just kept grabbing water, and then you could go over all the areas of where you think any white might be showing and cover it up that way. When you're done, you're going to use a paper towel or a Kleenex, and you're going to wipe off any residue or water that's on your baggie. I'll come around and recollect those, but you can get rid of the Kleenex or paper towel. Take your cup and brush to the sink, and we're going to let this dry for a little bit. So we're going to slide it off to the side. Now we're going to use the same neon oil pastels, and I want you to just create some different marks on your paper. Cover everything just a little bit, because we're going to cut out our pumpkin next. So you create whatever sort of lines and marks that you want on this paper, whatever you feel. Now once this is done, the next thing you're going to do is we're going to cut out our pumpkin and we're going to glue it on our really cool backgrounds. So before we cut that out and glue it, flip your paper over, and I want you to use your pencil, and I would like you to write your name and your teacher code on the back of your paper. This way we know whose it is. You might end up with a little bit of stuff on the back of your paper, and that's okay. But go ahead and get ready to start cutting out this paper. And I think the more you've allowed it to dry, the better it will be. Once you finish cutting out your pumpkin, I want you to take your scraps and you're going to go recycle those. Make sure that your art is fully dry before we glue it down. My goal is that using just that little bit of water and the marker will help our paper absorb it and dry really quickly. So using the glue stick, you're going to flip your art piece over. And what we're going to do is you don't want to cover the whole thing. When I do it, I usually just do a quick swipe around the edges, and you could do a couple lines or even a big X down the middle. Make sure you put your glue stick back in and close the cap. And then you're going to gently just massage and rub in your piece of paper to be finished. Another option is I went ahead later and I used Puffy Paint to add some texture and some three-dimensional quality to my piece. So if you have any of that around, or if you ever have buttons or other things too, you can also make a three-dimensional piece by adding those onto the background.